एचडी लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग का भी ऑल्टरनेट रख लेना था, मीटिंग गया तो वहां से लाइव फीड इंटरनेट के थ्रू।
Yeah. Hi, Hong Kong. Can you hear me? Would you mind stop your sharing? Don't share anything.
Hello, Hong Kong. I'm going to take you off mute because we need you to talk to me. Hong Kong, can you come off mute? Because I can't seem to physically unmute you. Hong Kong, can you unmute yourself?
Hello? Hello, this is Hong Kong. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just tried to unmute, but it didn't work. I don't know why. Okay, I tried.
Okay. Yeah, okay, because you've gone back to mute. You've gone back to mute. Can you unmute yourselves again, Hong Kong, or? Okay, Hong Kong, so you're unmuted. Can you just talk to us now?
Hello, this is from Hong Kong. Do you want us to mute?
No, I'm going to see if I can mute you from here. So you just leave your settings as is, and I'll see if I can mute you first.
See that? Well, we got slides. We got
yeah, just leave your settings as is. So we're going to mute you and unmute you from here.
That's the setting.
So if you can just say something to me now, Cass, I have you unmuted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thanks for that. I'm just going to put you back on mute. Hello, Oxford. Oxford, could you talk to us to see if we can hear you?
Good morning, Sydney. or rather afternoon to you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You're just barely audible, but we can hear you.
I wonder if I can just. Let's see if you can hear me. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, we can hear you a little bit better now.
Okay, brilliant. Can put this on the other side?
Your camera's also off center, so but can you see our screen all right?
Yes, perfect, actually.
Excellent. We can see you this time. So the IT guys give you a new address or something, did they?
No, actually, it was just we needed to log into part of the system or so that seemed to have done it, done the trick.
Okay, excellent. We might need you to come closer to your mic when you're speaking because it's, like I say, still quite quiet here.
Okay, maybe later on I'll try and adjust the volume. So is that better when I'm doing that?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah, so I need to be right next to the microphone, and that's not a problem, or whoever's presenting anyway.
Okay, then thanks for that. I'm going to put you on mute now.
Yes, please, thank you.
Hi, Delia. I'm just checking with you. I've unmuted you. Can you just speak into your microphone to make sure we can hear you?
Yeah, hi. This is Rachna from Delhi office.
Yeah, you're quite quiet. Is there any way you can turn up your volume or make sure that you're closer to the mic?
Wait. Is this better now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can just about hear you. We can't hear you very loudly.
So I'm near the mic now. Is this better?
It's a little bit better, but you're still quite quiet compared to the other people.
Okay, so maybe I can tell Vivek to be a little louder when he talks.
Okay, so you have, I'm not too sure, it's either Vivek or Palab that's going to talk. Can you make sure that they stand as close to the mic as possible?
Yes, I'll tell them.
Okay then, thank you. I'll put you back on mute, but we just have to realize them guys have to stand quite close to the microphone.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll tell them. Thanks.
Okay, that sound checks with everyone that needs to talk, so that's all good. So we've got Naseem in the UK, Marianne in Hong Kong, and Vivek or Palab in New Delhi. So what we'll do is we will unmute you when Phil introduces you. So we'll unmute you then. But I believe that Naseem is handing directly over to Marianne in Hong Kong. So we'll probably have you both unmuted literally at the same time. So so just be aware of your voices in Hong Kong. Okay, we're just going to start the video quickly just to make sure you can see the video.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, this is Sean Hart from George Clinical in the United States, based in Kansas City. I was asked recently by Erica Burmeister and Marisa to do a quick hello to everybody after year one, May 2nd, 2017.
If people can just give me a thumbs up if they saw and heard that all right. Okay, excellent. Okay, thanks everyone. It sounds like we've had a good connection, so everyone's online, so it's all good. So we just have to wait another 45 minutes for the presenters, but we're going to probably mic up Phil around and do another sound check at about 4:45.
of shit to say, and I can't say it all in one day. I can't say it all in one piece of tape. I got a lot of shit to say, and I can't say it all in one day. I can't say it all in one piece of tape.
Beijing, can you turn off your screen sharing? You just went into screen sharing mode. We need you to come out.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Test. 1, 2. Hey Phil, hey there. How you going? Yeah, good. Hello, can you hear us? Yep, that's good. No, put it on there. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Can they hear me as well? Or no? Oh, there. Yeah. Excellent. Test. Yeah, testing. Can you hear me all right? Well, actually, should we stand down there and you can, there we go. Just make sure it works down here. How's that? Oh, yeah.
See yourself on the screen there. That's what it looks like on the...
Oh, yep. Okay, perfect. Right.
Your slides, you don't have to turn around the big screen.
Oh, good. I will, yeah. So we just do a quick see. Okay. Where do they? Oh, okay, that's the first one, isn't it? Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm just going to do a sound check with Oxford again, Phil, right?
Sure. Okay.
Oxford, we're just going to try another sound check with you. So I've unmuted you now. Can you just speak into the mic for your final sound check?
Good morning, Mark, again.
Excellent. We can hear you okay.
Mike, can you see us?
Yeah, we can see you and we can hear you. You're pretty well much in the corner, both of you, on either side, but we can actually see you.
So, our camera is supposed to move with us, but it doesn't appear to be moving this morning.
Oh, I think you're fine where you are. We see
fine.
more of the person in the black jumper.
That's Yasmin.
Hi, Yasmin.
Hi. I'll just stay where
Okay,
I
that's.
am.
I think that's okay. If you don't have a dynamic camera, that's okay, and your voices are okay at the moment, so that's all good. We'll move over now. I'm going to do a test with Hong Kong.
Hello, Mike.
Hong Kong, I've just unmuted you, so can you just speak into your mic?
I'm ready. Full-on game show mode.
Hi, Mike. This is Marianne from Hong Kong. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're a bit on the quiet side, but yes, we can hear you.
So what can I do?
Oh, that was better. So if you just what you just did then was fine. I think you raised your voice a little bit. That's good.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay, we're now going to try with Delhi again. So Delhi, you're already unmuted. So if can somebody in Delhi just do a sound check again? Another one.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can just about hear you in Delhi.
So, am I better now? Audible? Is this
Yeah,
fine?
that's a bit better, but still, it's still not the best, but we can hear you.
Whereabouts is the microphone? Can you get a bit closer? No, Delhi.
Do you have a roving mic or anything else you can plug in for the speakers, or a gooseneck mic or anything like that? No?
No, we don't have anything like that. We have these ceiling mics. But I can hear you guys clearly.
Yeah, we can hear you. It's just not very loud. That's all. So we'll just have to live with it. That's okay. But at least we can hear you and see you. All right, then, cool. I'll just put you back on mute now. Okay, everyone. We've got 16 minutes to go, so not long.
Right. Right. Am I still on? Okay, I'm always on. This, yeah? There we are. Okay.
Nazim, we've just had a request from Erica. Could you swap with your seats with Yasmin so you're more in the picture, if possible? I'm just going to unmute you now. Okay, do you just want to do another sound check from there?
Hi, Mike. Mike.
Okay, excellent. We can hear you. Thank you.
Can you just confirm? Will you be unmuting and muting us? Hello.
Right. Yeah, we could probably hear you better now. What did you say then, Nassim?
I just said, will you be doing the microphone controls at your end? I don't have to do anything at this side, do I?
Tell them the mic is in the.
No? Hello?
Nassim, can you move the microphone that's in the middle of the table closer to you?
I think that's about the closest I can get. Is that any better? Hello?
There's another cable. We believe we can see the mic at the off the cable in the middle of the table, and that's probably the mic that's picking you up. If you could just move it a bit further forward, that would be good.
How's that? Is that any better?
It's a little bit better, but yeah, you're coming through clearer than most of the other officers in any case.
Oh, that's good then.
And I'll operate you from here, so I'll mute and unmute you, so you'll be unmuted before Phil introduces you. And you're introducing Marianne from Hong Kong, so we'll unmute her just before you introduce her as well.
Okay, Marianne from Hong Kong.
Yeah, so Nassim, I'll say over to you, and then you've got the floor, yeah?
Thank you very much, Phil, and good morning.
Morning.
Sorry.
Should we, yeah.
Beyond the ground. Sensation like falling, no fear to be found. Beyond the ground. Beyond the ground. Sensation like falling, no fear to be found. Underground rhythm and bass combine. Underground rhythm and bass combine. The underground. The underground. Sensation like fire, no fear to be found. A movement of people, the makers of sound. Image and energy, all future bound. The underground. The underground. The underground. Underground rhythms and bass combine. The underground. Sensation like fire, no fear to be found. A movement of people, the makers of sound. Image and energy, all future bound. Alchemists creating a science of sound.
Okay, everybody, if you'd like to make your way to your seats here in Sydney. Thank you. Right, if everybody could make their seats, we just need to get started. So thank you. There we go. Right, there we are. I think we're ready to get started now. So thank you for everybody for joining. If we could make our way to the front, thank you. That would be great. Excellent, thank you. To start, I'd like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, who are obviously the traditional custodians of this beautiful land that we stand on here today, and to pay an acknowledgement to their elders, both past and present. So welcome everybody. My name is Phil Offer, so I head up George Health Technologies, and I've been fortunate enough to be at the George for 4 months, which apparently is long enough that you need to be MC of this event. So that's great, so that's what we need. And I'd like to pay also a welcome to our offices around the world. So up in the Asian time zones, we've got everybody who was up on screen earlier. So it's between about 1 o'clock and I think 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock across Beijing, Shanghai, Delhi and Hyderabad. Good morning as well to people in Oxford, where it's 8 a.m. in the morning. It's also where I grew up, so I look forward to visiting that office very shortly. And if there is anybody in Kansas City or Montreal, a big shout out, because it's actually 3 a.m. in the morning. So now that is what commitment is, everybody, actually. So it's in there, or it's either a massive Tuesday night out. So either way, kudos to them if they manage to do that. So now what we're going to run through today, as always with a global staff meeting, it's going to be bite-sized, so hopefully leaves you wanting more. I'm going to talk a little bit more around what George Health Technologies is doing and why I've joined. Then we'll go to the recognition awards around the globe, and then we really split the rest of this session. So we look back at the fiscal year 2018, there's some huge achievements that have been made, and Anushka and Vivek will take us through those. And then Robin's going to take us and look forward to 2019, on what we've got ahead in that vision and all that's set to come. So very exciting times ahead. But whilst I've got the microphone, allow me to take a little bit more about what we're doing in George Health. George Health Technologies, which is the third and the most recent sort of division. It used to be called George Care. And its role is to help people save lives, making care more affordable, more personalised, using the digital tools which Anushka and her team have generated. So we're part of the overall George Health Enterprises unit, which, as you may know, is a profit-for-purpose division, headed up by Steph, who's here in the country from London, but avoided doing MC duty, which is great, and passed to me. And its role is quite unique. So it's got the huge privilege of taking the exclusive access to the intellectual property that you all generate around the globe, and we look to make that into a commercial proposition that helps people in their health outcomes and makes a real difference worldwide, but does it in a sustainable financial way so you can plough that money back into further research that we do. It's one of the very few organisations around the world pioneering it. It's a great privilege to be as part of it. Now, I'm part as well of a team in George Health Technologies of about 10 people who spend their time in there, helping to take these new products to market. And I'm very fortunate as well that Dr. Ruth Webster has split herself in half. So she spends half the week in George Health Technologies, or a bit more if I can get it, and then the rest doing the work she does in her pioneering sort of research around there. And why it matters is that at the point of care, where the knowledge that you create in research, we know that only 50% of the people in Australia are actually getting guideline-based care. And actually, in many of the emerging markets, it's far less than that. So we're not doing a good enough job of harnessing the knowledge that we've got to make a difference to those patients. And so what we're looking to build here is be able to use digital health to be able to harness that knowledge and give those care providers, whoever they are, those tools to be able to better manage and to better manage the overall patient. So we're not just looking at single sort of disease states. We're trying to make it more efficient to manage the overall patient. And we're always looking to expand out the number of chronic diseases that we cover, so we can get to personalised, guideline-based care that everybody could get as a right, around the world. So we're going to be able to scale this up wherever we are. And also, we're not looking to just be, another change management program that goes down into health systems. We're working with partners who seek out that disruption, who embrace it, and who actually want to see the real benefits. So we're working confidentially with Pinetree, who are a home care provider in China, with Healthcare at Home, who are a diabetes telehealth educator in India, and just recently Health Engine has come on board to be able to trial this technology here, to be able to assess what works commercially and actually what helps to be able to get their patients. If success is not just as well in the financial results, it's translating these stunning research results out into the real world. So we can see that we're scanning populations, as we reached 86% up in India. We're getting up to lifting up dramatically the blood pressure medications and having a real impact, as we saw in some of the recent Indonesia trials. We're getting to blood pressure targets. That will be a real measure of the social impact that we have. So that gives you a quick view of George Health Technologies, and I look forward to giving you an update as we get further results in. But with that, I'm going to hand over to Naseem in Oxford, who's going to give us the first of the GURP and GARP awards. Over to you, Naseem.
Thank you, Phil. The GURP Awards, as you know, are for non-academic staff, where colleagues are nominated by other colleagues. And I'll start with the Australia office. From the Australia office, we have Mayor Kay. Sorry, I'm just going to have to mute the mic.
It's all right. This is planned, and we are what is prepared. So,
is that better?
It's not like a good screenshot. Was it in there? It's all right. It's just about to come back, actually. So, yeah, we can hear you, Naseem. We're just getting the screen back and up. There we go. There we are. Thank you. Over to you, Naseem.
So I'll start again. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So I'll start again. Mayor Kay from Australia for her long-term commitment to excellence and exemplifying TGI values. Also from Australia, Anita Berry for her exceptional contribution towards the operations of her team and for mastering the dark arts of the RGMS, whatever that is. It sounds very interesting. And And from the China office, we have Terry Liu for consistently organizing high-quality external events and using her creativity to an exceptional standard. From the global office, we have Kate Goddard. Kate apparently came on board very recently onto the Integrate study, which she mastered very quickly and did some exceptional work on that. And also lastly from the India office, we have Rashna Kapoor for doing all-round excellent work for all of her team. And I think Rashna is the EA to Vivek in the India office. And finally, not last but least, certainly, Emma Feeney from the UK for driving the TGI role in the Global Task Force for Women and NCDs, and also for setting up, she's joining us for setting up the efficacy systems here. I think that's all, and I think we can all congratulate everybody here.
So, round of applause.
With that, can I hand over to Marianne, please, for the GARP Awards?
Thank you.
Marianne?
Okay, this is Marianne, the Regional HR Advisor of East Asia of George Clinical. I will be sharing with you our recent GARP winners and a little bit of each of them. In Australia, we have Melinda Ho, and Melinda is a project assistant. She has continuously demonstrated efficient and focus on streamlined processes and deliver the best quality. She is also an active member of our POST team. POST is to support a project manager of resources and standardize the system. And Melinda has been helping the CLEAN study. She is goal-focused and helping others as she can. Congratulations to Melinda. The next winner in Australia is Tamara Clayton. She is a project system and functional administrator. She is often resolving 10 plus queries a day on our complex system and always keen to understand the root of key issues and the best way to resolve the issues. So congratulations to Tamara. So next slide, please. In East Asia, our GARP winner has Yan Fong. She is a CRA and has been working with us since 2016. And she is based in Malaysia. She is a key contributor to Sonar and Diamond studies. She met the startup timeline for Diamond, including the health authority submission, which allowed her to initiate the first site in February 2018. Congratulations to Yan Fong. The next GARP winner in Malaysia is Xiaoyan Chong. She is a CRA. She has been a key contributor to several of our projects. She is working across initiation of study all the way through. She also has been working on Sonar, which is one of our very big running long study, which is coming to the end in September. Xiaoyan is also focused on casebook study. And she has been helping Hong Kong in closeout activities, and she is in our Hong Kong office today. So congratulations to Xiaoyan. Next slide, please. So in China, our GARP winner, we have a CRA. His name is Shen Kun Sun. Shen Kun has been working with us since November 2016. He is allocated to Baham and Enchanted studies. He manages 14 sites from Enchanted and 2 sites from Baham studies. He maintains an excellent relationship with the sponsors and receives great feedback. He keeps recruitment on target. Until April, 128 subjects of 146 enrolled were contributed by Shen Kun's site. Congratulations to Shen Kun. And our next winner in China is Na Niu. She is a home-based CRA in Nanjing. She has worked independently and efficiently on the Sonar studies through a very tough period of patient recruitment and early study termination. She manages the site with the highest amount of patients and taking on additional responsibility to ensure SONA study the objectives are met. So congratulations to Nanu. So in India, our GAP winner is Sydney George. She is a medical services associate and she works from the medical and regulatory services team. Sydney has been with us for about a year and has been constantly meeting her target and deliverables. She is building the team in India. She has been mentoring a new member in the team and sharing her knowledge. And Sydney is continuously learning and developing practices. Congratulations to Sydney. And the next winner in India is Ramesh Timia. He has been with us as a project manager and as a senior project manager now for almost 6 years. Ramesh make a strong commitment to the credence study to achieve challenging matches and timelines, particularly overspent 1 year, which included 47 oversight visits, on-site quality visit, audit co-monitoring visit. On top of his regular sponsor communication, he has been successfully in withstanding the pressure in a complex matrix structure. Congratulations to Ramesh. So next slide, please. In USA, we have Molly Burr. She is a project manager. Molly is very responsive to customer changing needs and meeting the scheduled deliverables. She met customer challenges and came up with thoughtful options and solutions. She has been transitioning different projects and get very good feedback from customer. Thank you to Molly being an excellent leader and looking after our customers so well. Congratulations to Molly. We have another GAP winner in USA. His name is Zachary Giebel. He is a director of proposal. He has been with us less than a year, but he pushed out 12 proposals in 2 months. During the month of December 2017 alone, he worked on and delivered 14 new requests for proposal, 4 large change orders, and 5 rebates. Congratulations to Zachary. And well done to all winners. And over to Phil again in Sydney.
Thanks, Marianne. As I said earlier, this year has obviously been a huge transformative one for the George Institute. And to take us through to the next section, we've got a short video to hear more from Vlado and Anushka.
We've now been affiliated with the University of New South Wales for a year. While that time has gone very quickly, it is an opportune moment for us to look backwards and see what's been achieved and what the benefits to all of the staff at the George Institute have been. The first thing to say is we've been very quickly embraced and made to feel core to the University of New South Wales activities and mission. Through its leadership, Ian Jacobs as the Vice-Chancellor, Rodney Phillips as the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine, they've been very clear about the importance that they place on the role of the George Institute in helping UNSW achieve its broader goals over the coming years and decades. As part of our partnership, we are playing a central role in implementing the Faculty of Medicine's research agenda. The faculty is undertaking that through 4 main themes, and we lead one of those themes, specifically the theme focused on non-communicable diseases, which is obviously core to the work that we do here at the George Institute.
UNSW Sydney has been tremendously supportive of our activities in India, China and the UK, including investments into hiring new staff in each of these offices, as well as supporting other international activities such as the Plus Alliance. Our partnership with UNSW Sydney has led to a number of major co-hosted events, such as a recent event held with the Australian Digital Health Agency that attracted senior representatives from all around the world.
We now have a number of staff who've been awarded UNSW Scientia Fellowships, including Min Jun, Anne-Marie Eads and Jason Wu, and we have a large number of people who've been awarded Scientia scholarships, greatly increasing our capacity to undertake our research. In addition, there are now over 25 people directly supported by funding that's been obtained through the partnership with UNSW here at the Institute.
Our partnership with UNSW Sydney has allowed us to invest into our core areas of research in clinical research and in health system science. In addition, we're making significant investment to turbocharge our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health research program, and has allowed us to appoint, importantly, leaders in this area. In addition, the investment from UNSW Sydney has allowed us to focus on our global health strategy, that is supporting underserved populations in low and middle income countries.
The funding from UNSW will help us to develop new areas of real research priority for the organisation. One of those that many of you will have heard a lot about already is women's health, where there have been seed grants announced, there have been programs to support travel, and there are a number of new appointments that will help us to improve health outcomes for women around the world.
Another area of focus that we're going to grow dramatically with the UNSW Sydney investment is in the area of thought leadership. Specifically, we're establishing a think tank which will allow us to grow activities that influence policy and practice in Australia and China and India and the UK and globally. Our partnership with UNSW Sydney has provided an incredible opportunity for us to grow our research and advocacy activities across the Institute in all our regions. These opportunities will be available to our staff in all our offices, and we look forward to sharing details in the coming weeks and months.
We're now a year into our new partnership with UNSW, but it's still just the beginning. We're starting to see the impact of the partnership, of the investment that's been made on work across the entirety of the organisation, but that will become much more visible over coming months and years. Most importantly, we're sure that with the support of UNSW, we're better placed than we've ever been before to achieve our mission of improving the health of millions of people around the world.
And now to hear more around that is hand over to Anushka.
Thanks, Phil. So I think the video sort of touched on some of the areas of new investment that the UNSW partnership has allowed us to do at the George. Of course, the partnership's more than just money, but the money is important. And what I want to do is very briefly just go over some of the key areas that we've made investment decisions on for the first year. Importantly, and I'll go into that in a little bit more detail, we now have to start to plan for future years, and we want to engage much more broadly with everyone across the George Institute to figure out where we should move forward with our research generally and specifically in new areas for investment. So we've really focused on 4 areas of investment thus far. The first has been a big emphasis on bringing on people, because that's important for the future of the organisation beyond this initial period of investment. We have focused on bringing on what we call stars at every level of the organisation, both academics, early career, mid-career, and senior researchers. And I think this has been across all the offices across the organisation, but also some key operational positions to support the growing research activities across the group. We've been particularly successful, I think, in bringing on earlier and mid-career researchers to date, and now our focus over the next few months and years is really going to be on some critical senior appointments. In terms of the areas of focus, we do want to bolster our current areas of strength. And as I think everyone knows, there are 2 very broad areas that we work in with a lot of overlap. One is in our clinical research, clinical trials, epidemiology, data science, and the other one is around implementation and health systems research. So there are a number of activities in both those areas that we're seeking to boost. Additionally, as mentioned in the video, we have some strategic areas we're focusing on that already exist, but we feel needs a bit of a boost. Indigenous health in Australia is one, with potential opportunities to grow internationally, as well as our more global health research focusing on underserved populations in low and middle income countries, as well as some of our teaching and training activities, both in-house and externally facing. And finally, again, as mentioned in the video, there are a couple of areas that we've invested in that are quite new for the organization, or relatively new, including the Women's Health Program, the area around the think tank and thought leadership, and some work that Stephen and others are doing around social entrepreneurship. The process really is driven by, or has to date been driven by a global research committee that includes the executive directors from each of the regions, as well as a number of other senior research staff. And the research committee has had an initial role in making some decisions about initial investments, but has a very important ongoing role about monitoring the outcomes or the impact of those investments. Because, while we've got this opportunity and a fantastic opportunity, we want to make the most use of the funding that's been made available to us and make sure that it's achieving the impact that we're seeking to achieve. So it is important that we have close monitoring of that, and that's a process that we've started. But importantly, moving forward, I think you'll probably hear more about future plans for developing our next strategy, the 2020 to 2025 strategy for the entire organization. And it's important that future decisions around investment, whether it's through the UNSW investment or other investments, are closely linked with our new strategic plan. And we're really kicking off that process now. And critically, it's going to require very broad input and consultation across all levels of the organization, across all offices. We've just started the process, initially seeking some really big ideas from everyone. You would have all seen an email that's gone around, and we've already got some really interesting ideas. Some ideas around, for example, climate change, looking at the effects of climate change on human migration and health, looking at our research becoming even more interdisciplinary than it currently is, which is thought by a few people who've put in ideas to be critical to our success in a very rapidly evolving world. There's been ideas about setting up an office in the Pacific Islands, so all sorts of ideas. Anything is welcome. And really, this is not just an exercise of reaching out and then, okay, thanks for those ideas, we'll move on. This is a genuine attempt to inform our research strategy moving forward, and therefore the investments that we're going to make. So look forward to hearing from you from that perspective, but then there'll be many iterations where we come back to you, reflect ideas, get feedback before we finalize the strategy and the investments that go along with that. Thank you, and I'll hand over to Vivek or Pallab in India.
Thanks, Anushka. So, just continuing with this description of the engagement with the University of New South Wales. If we go to the next slide. Next one. All right, carry on. Next, please. So, the engagement with the University of, go back to the previous one, the engagement with the University of New South Wales really gathered steam in December when Ian Jacobs and many others from the University of New South Wales were here at the time of the 10th year anniversary event that we organized. Can we go to the next, please? Next slide. This was also helped by the fact that the University of New South Wales office is co-located with the George Institute office, so we see each other every day. We talk to each other, we develop ideas and new research opportunities. A team of academics from the university visited our office here in Delhi, and we had half-a-day workshop to brainstorm new ideas, and this has led to development of few new research proposals, and more are in the offing. Last month we had a visit by the Premier of New South Wales, and that was very, very successful. She came and visited one of the field sites where one of the smart health projects is being implemented. She interacted with the community health workers, and at that time she actually made quite a promise that she will support the development of medtech related projects between New South Wales and India through the George Institute, both Sydney and India offices. Can we go to the next slide? But as Anushka said, it was the investment from the University of New South Wales which really gave us the opportunity to bring in fresh energy into the George Institute India office by making a series of appointments, and you can see them here. Many of some of them have already visited Sydney, and you have met with them. Others you have not, and will get an opportunity to meet in future. But just suffice for me to say that the energy that it has brought into the office is really palpable. And not shown here are a number of new appointments which have been made because these people have brought with them their own new projects, and we really look forward to a step change in the way the research has both the breadth and the depth of research at the George Institute India office has been done in the past and will be done in the future, but also the widening of the horizons that will take place both within the country and internationally as a result of all these new hires. So I'll hand you back to Phil.
Thanks, Vivek. As we said earlier, it's a little bit early in the States, so Sean from George Clinical in the US wisely pre-recorded his message earlier to look at the achievements this year.
Hello, this is Sean Hart from George Clinical in the United States, based in Kansas City. I was asked recently by Erica Burmeister and Marisa to do a quick hello to everybody after year one. May 2nd, 2017, the acquisition occurred of Vector Oncology, and since May 2nd, we've now been George Clinical United States. Our first priority was to build out the management infrastructure in the United States, to add appropriate staff, both in HR, and IT, and finance, and systems, and then obviously in clinical and data staffing. Specifically, we started targeting both oncology and cardiovascular and renal, CNS, and other areas, key clients, mid-size and smaller clients, to introduce the concept of George Clinical and our Asia Pacific expertise, our scientifically led teams, and our operational excellence in those areas. It's been a busy year with a lot of RFPs, and really Clinical and George Institute. That has led to many visits over year one, and exciting visits. We've had visits from George Clinical, both Marisa and Glenn and Paul Donnelly and Maria and Amanda and Harmony, all have been here, and probably others. And by the same token, I've been blessed to be able to visit both the China office as well as our Australia office. We've had visits from Robin and Stephen. We've had visits from staff and visits from Tim Regan. Each time there's been presentations and Q&A that has really helped us understand the impact that the George Institute has. And that's going to help us in front of clients. It's going to help us with the outreach, the impact that we have both as a CRO and certainly as a larger organization. We had the chance to build out our Memphis office early in the acquisition. We're now also going to build out and make a move in the Kansas City office to grow our presence. So it's been a wonderful year one. I will leave it by saying that. Thank you for all the folks who visited us and made us feel welcome. And we look forward to an amazing run here for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Have a great day.
Well, thanks to Sean there. And then lastly, to bring us through to really look to the future into FY19, going to hand over to Robin, who will give us an overview of those priorities and then also an update of the George Institute at Oxford. Over to you, Robin.
Thanks very much, Phil. And I'm thrilled to see that we're an organisation that places great emphasis on gender equity, that we've moved from being the George Institute to the Georgia Institute. I guess that means the last 20 years we've been the George Institute, the next 20 years will be the Georgia Institute. So fantastic. But moving to those next 20 years, as we do every year, if I could have the next slide, please, we produce, thank you. We produce our FY19 goals, or the goals for the next year ahead. These goals here relate specifically to the George Institute, George Health Enterprises, George Clinical, George Health Technologies, George Medicines have their own goals, but we're presenting the George Institute goals. Last year, some of you may remember, we've started to move into this house concept. Our mission drives our goals, and over our strategic plan that we have is our overall goal that we want to achieve in that strategic plan time framework. I'll just focus on our theme for the coming year. We want to maximise our global health impact over the next year. Now, I'm not going to focus on each of the points there. If I move to the next slide, I just want to highlight a few of our goals that we have for the coming year. Firstly, as many of you know, we undertook, Anushka led a review of our global health activities, namely our activities focused on low and middle income countries, and that was a very significant piece of research that has led into the development of a working group and some recommendations, and over the next year we want to ensure that we implement those recommendations from the Global Health Review. Secondly, Anushka's alluded to the fact, and as emails have gone out to all staff, we have decided to bring forward our strategic planning process. Our current strategic plan finished in 2020, but because of the transformative change associated with the engagement with the University of New South Wales, we felt it really important that we really look at the implications of that change and bring forward the strategic planning process a year so that we have a 2025 strategic plan that also fits very nicely with the University of New South Wales 2025 strategic plan. So as Anushka's already outlined, we're starting that process already. We've got a timetable over the next year that will bring us to essentially May next year, when we meet with our board and the board will sign off on that 2025 strategic plan for implementation from July next year. As Anushka's indicated, now's the time to think about big ideas before we get into the detail of that plan. So we really do need those big ideas from all of you. Fourthly, 4 million. Development. I think many of you know we've struggled over the years to really build our development efforts, our fundraising efforts, but we're really enthusiastic and positive that we're on the right track now. We've had Alpana and the team in the India office for some time. Over the last year, we've brought on Lou Angelou in our UK office, and most recently, Fiona McQueen in the Australian office. And the good news in China, of course, is we can now invoice through our representative office in China, which means theoretically, Craig and the team there, we might be able to think about some fundraising opportunities there. But we believe we should be able to hit a target of 4 million in new philanthropic commitments over the next financial year. Relating to our theme of maximising our global health impact, we really want to build on the work that Emma Feely, who was one of our GERP winners, Emma based out of the UK, facilitating the increasing our profile and the impact of the work of the George Institute with key global health stakeholders. And just by way of example, one of the key stakeholders or groups that we're focusing on is the UN. This year, many of you may know, there's a high-level UN meeting on non-communicable diseases, and we really want to ensure that the George Institute contributes to and has a place at those high-level meetings. So that's an example of where we might want to make a big impact this year. Below that is internal comms, and immediately over to the right, but on the people and organisation, internal comms strengthened and organisational structures realigned to enhance global and regional staff engagement. These two are very closely intertwined and relate in large part to recommendations that came out of the ACRIS review, the Advisory Committee on Research, Impact and Strategy, who felt that we work too much in silos still, that across our regions we didn't work enough together, that within regions we didn't work enough together. So we are responding to their concerns, if you like, and ensuring that we're actually going to bring on an internal communications person who will work at building internal communications within the organisation. But the other part of that is about looking at the structures that we have that ensure that there is greater communication across and within regions. The last one up the top to highlight is, and as Anushka has said, Anushka, you said, that the stars that we've brought on to date are really the rising and emerging stars, which is fantastic. But we do need to, over the next year, focus on our established stars, and those are our high-level professorial appointments. And we're going to put a particular focus on bringing on at least 3 high-level professorial appointments of individuals who have track records in working in global health in low and middle income countries. So a really important focus for us over the next year. So got a lot to do over the next year. We believe it could make a huge difference to the organisation as we move forward. If I could have the next slide, please. But to the future in the UK, and as you'll see, I'm currently the acting executive director in the UK, hopefully not for too much longer. Not that I don't love all the team in the UK. We've got a great group of people in the UK and a very exciting future ahead. And if I could have the next slide, please. Firstly, we, as part of some of the discussions that we've had over the last 6 months, we've really reaffirmed our commitment and the importance of the office in the UK. There is lots of opportunities that we can build on in the UK, and in particular, the UK is an ideal position to really strengthen our global health activities, in part pragmatically because the UK government is putting a lot of money into global health research, partnering UK researchers with individuals and organisations in low and middle income countries, but more broadly as well. So we can take advantage of that. Secondly, the UK, and Oxford in particular, has a long-standing history working in global health, but quite frankly, mostly working in communicable diseases. And there's a real opportunity to start to partner with the teams in the UK who've been working in communicable diseases, because many of those colleagues are starting to see the juxtaposition of communicable diseases with non-communicable diseases. And those colleagues really want to start working with us, whether it be in Africa, where Oxford has a long-standing engagement, or whether it be in Asia, in Vietnam, Bangkok, Laos, and in the region more generally. So there's a lot of opportunities there. So we're putting resource in not only to engage a new executive director, we're putting resource in to bring on board a professor of health systems science who would complement the existing health systems research across all of the offices. We're also putting in resource to appoint a professor of global women's health, in large part because we can do that in association with our host department, the Nuffield Department of Women's and Reproductive Health. We're also putting money into a new comms person to strengthen our communication activities there. We're putting in, as we have done in every other region, a part-time Global Women's Health Program Manager. We're strengthening our research activities. Premjit, who's been our research facilitator there for many years, he's becoming a full-time employee of the organisation. So a lot of resource into growing the organisation there. Second dot point is really thrilled to announce, and the UK team know this, last week we finally got approval from the University of Oxford to move into new but it's fantastic news for us. Anyone who's visited the Oxford offices know it currently we're spread across 3 different levels. There is no tea room, welcomed by the Oxford team, and then you can head back to your holidays or whatever else business you're doing. The last thing to point out is this year we are coming up for a renewal of our Memorandum of Understanding with Oxford University, and we are using that plus the combined new investment at Oxford to really push the senior hierarchy of Oxford University to look to provide us with long-term space. We've got a meeting with the Vice-Chancellor of Oxford University in about a month's time to really push the case that combined with the Nuffield Department of Women's and Reproductive Health, we can really make a strategic difference to Oxford and what we do there. So we're, as I say, lots happening in the George Institute UK. Watch this space. And my last slide, and it's a not yet goodbye. Many of you will know Marissa Peterson, who's CEO and Executive Director of George Clinical. Marissa's been with us for a number of years now and has been fantastic and instrumental in growing George Clinical to where it is now. Marissa won't, unless she sneaks back in to our next GSM, she won't be here. Our next GSM is in September. Marissa leaves in August. So we wanted to acknowledge Marissa's, the fact she's almost going, but not yet, and just in this sort of global forum to acknowledge the fantastic contributions that she's made over time. Having said that, you can be assured there's going to be a range of celebrations, farewells to Marissa, not only in the Sydney office, but as you would have seen across all the many offices. I think we're about 12 or 13 offices all around the world, and they're all going to be celebrating and acknowledging the fantastic job that Marissa has done. So if you see Marissa around the place, give your farewells, but do come along to the many farewell parties that I'm sure we're going to have for her. So on that note, I think I pass back to you, Phil.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Robin, and exciting times ahead. So, and don't miss out on your opportunity to contribute to some of that strategy, as Anushka said. So when is the deadline for the big ideas?
June the 18th.
June the 18th, so you've got a couple more weeks to germinate those. So that's it for us now. We'll say thank you to the overseas offices as we pull the cord on the connection. For those in Sydney, if you can stay seated for one more minute, because Caroline wanted to have a quick word about the NAIDOC celebrations. Thank you.